Greetings and salutations, dreamers in Dreamland. Welcome to this red hot edition of Listen to Me. Today is Friday the 13th. That's right, Friday the 13th of August, 2021. And you know, we've got some boxing on tonight on Telemundo, but I'm not very familiar with the entirety of that card, and it's really not the most important card of the weekend, although I will be taking a look. But what I want to cover is I want to cover tomorrow's tremendous day in boxing. And I mean tremendous day across the board. We've got four different cards representing four different promotional entities, if you will. We've got a MatchRoom card. We've got FightCamp over there in the United Kingdom. We've got the ESPN TopRank card here in the United States on ESPN. And we have the GoldenBoy card also here in the United States, and we also have the PBC card on Showtime. Now, this, Dreamers in Dreamland, this is the video to give you my weekend picks. That's right, everybody's favorite boxing shaman will be delivering his weekend picks for the main event of all four. That's right, all four of these incredible, all four of these truly incredible cards. I'm going to give you the pick of the main event of all four. Now let us begin with FightCamp. That's right, FightCamp, courtesy of Eddie Hearn at his castle, you know, over there in the United Kingdom. This is FightCamp Week 3, 2021, and the main event of that card is 175-pound WBA International Light Heavyweight Champion Joshua Buatsi. He will be defending his title against Richard Bolotnikins. Richard Bolotnikins. Now listen, no disrespect to Richard Bolotnikins, but in my opinion, Joshua Buatsi he's gonna get that guy out of there. I'll explain to you why. I don't mean to cut to the chase on this one, but this, in my opinion, is the most clear cut of all the main events to go over. Joshua Buatsi is 14-0. Okay, 12 knockout wins. 14-0. 12 knockout wins. Truly an incredible fighter. Richard Bolotnikins, he's more experienced. He's 18-5. 5 losses, 3 knockout losses, mind you. 5 losses, 3 knockout losses for Richard. And he's got 1 draw under his belt as well. But I see this going as a knockout in round number 8 for Joshua Buatsi. I see Joshua Buatsi using his range, using his jab to control distance, lining up a right hand, probably a straight right or an overhand, and maybe following it up with a left hook. But anyway you want to slice the bread, right after the beginning of the second half of this fight, in the 8th round, right there, I think that's when you see Joshua Buatsi put his hand right on the jaw of Richard Bolotnikins from the Bolsheviks, and I see a knockout victory for Joshua Buatsi for FightCamp Week 3's main event. Now, moving on to the ESPN Top-Rank card. 7 p.m. here in the United States. Now, the DAZN card, FightCamp Week 3, you can check that on DAZN, 2 p.m. here in the United States. The ESPN Top-Rank card, 7 p.m. The main card begins here in the United States of America, and that card features Josh Franco, another fighter from GoldenBoy Promotions, not fighting on the GoldenBoy card, mind you, but defending his WBA regular title at 115 pounds, the super flyweight title, defending it against Andrew Maloney from Australia. Now, this fight has some true intrigue to it. Some true intrigue in this fight, because this will be the 3rd time that Josh Franco and Andrew Maloney will be squaring off in the squared circle against one another for a boxing contest. Now, the first fight, you know, Joshua Franco upset Andrew Maloney. He beat him. He did. In the rematch, Andrew Maloney and Joshua Franco, they had a rematch last year, and it was a no contest, but was it? In my opinion, that was blown call by the referee. Many people will share this opinion. They called that fight due to a headbutt, when actually the truth was Andrew Maloney just shut the eye of Josh Franco with his jab. Shut his eye with the jab, period. There was no headbutt to the eye that was shut. None. They reviewed this for about 30 minutes on television. Reviewing this to make sure that a headbutt caused the eye to be closed. And at no point of the 30-minute review did anyone in the televised broadcast looking at the replay point out a headbutt. Everyone from Mark Kriegel to Timothy Bradley to Andre Ward to Joe Tessitore, the entire ESPN Top Rank crew, nobody saw a headbutt to that eye that was shut. Bob Arum was so upset. He was so upset. He was livid. He was raising his voice, and I'm sure he was cursing at the officials at ringside who were overlooking the replay. They had replay officials at ringside, and they still blew the call. And it was obvious. So this third fight, has some real intrigue. Yes, Josh Franco does hold the victory over Andrew Maloney. Josh Franco, who is 17-1 with 8 knockouts, okay? And his one loss was a knockout loss. Andrew Maloney, he's 21-1 with the 1 no contest. Now, in my opinion, this fight will be won by Andrew Maloney. Andrew Maloney will do the same thing, if not worse, with his jab to the eye of Franco. I think he exposed last time Franco's weakness. Franco is obviously, by the footage and by what happened in the ring last time, very susceptible to the jab of Andrew Maloney. And I don't see anything that Franco is going to do differently that's going to change the outcome of the fight. I'm actually calling for another stoppage. That's right. I called for a knockout in the Joshua Buatsi fight, knockout in the 8th round. In this fight, I'm calling for a knockout in the 9th round. That's right. I'm calling for this to be a 9th round knockout. I believe by the 9th round, the eye will have suffered so much damage, or just in general, Franco will just be, the victim of attrition, and at that point, the fight will be stopped. I don't think that Andrew Maloney is going to hit him with a one-hitter quitter and knock him out and get him out of there. I'm not telling you that he's going to knock him out cold, but I believe this will be a stoppage. I believe this will be a knockout win in the 9th round for Andrew Maloney, courtesy of his jab, controlling of the distance, and excellent boxing ability off the jab. That's my call for the ESPN Top Rank main event. Moving on to the other show on DAZN. This one begins at 8 p.m. This is the GoldenBoy show. The GoldenBoy Promotions card, this will be featuring Vergil Ortiz defending his WBO International 147-pound welterweight championship against Mean Machine, Igis Kavaliauskas. Now, Vergil Ortiz, 17-0, 17 knockouts, vicious puncher. He goes after it every single time. Every time he hits the ring, he's going for a knockout. Period. He's going for it. He does not take his foot off the gas pedal. He's looking to get his opponent out of there. Now, Mean Machine, 21-1 with 18 knockouts. Believe it or not, Mean Machine has more knockouts than Vergil Ortiz because he has more experience. However, Mean Machine, 22 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw. His one loss, his sole defeat in his career, was at the hands of Terrence Crawford. Bud Terrence Crawford, the American badass. The best American fighter in the world today, period, pound for pound, bar none. No question about it. Former undisputed champion, 140 pounds. Former Ring Magazine lineal and champion, 135 pounds. And currently the WBO champion at 147 pounds. So Mean Machine's loss at the hands of Terrence Crawford, that's nothing to frown upon. That's nothing to be ashamed of for the Mean Machine. Not at all. He does have a draw with Ray Robinson, the new Ray Robinson. Obviously not Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the all-time greats, if not the all-time greatest boxer, which, depending on the day of the week you ask me, I may tell you Sugar Ray Robinson is, in my opinion, the greatest boxer of all time, pound for pound. Depends on the day of the week. That's another story for another day. But however, the new Ray Robinson is a very formidable fighter at 147 pounds. Actually holds a victory over Bud Terrence Crawford as an amateur. And, Ray Robinson is a guy who also, will give anybody a tough night if they are not fully prepared for Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson's very slick. I believe he's a southpaw, if not a switch hitter. And, he has a draw with Mean Machine. But Igis Kavaliauskas is 22 wins, 18 knockouts. He's a world-class fighter. In my opinion, at 147 pounds, he would beat the snot out of Danny Garcia if they fought today. In my opinion, if he fought Keith Thurman today, I would bet my money that I earn on Evis Kavaliauskas. Having said that, my pick to win is Vergil Ortiz. That's right, Vergil Ortiz by knockout in the 7th round. As soon as the second half of this fight kicks off, the 7th round, Vergil Ortiz is going to get Evis Kavaliauskas out of there. And I believe he's going to do so with hunger and true fury. I believe he's going to do it in a very ferocious manner. I believe Vergil Ortiz is going to look to impress, and I believe he's going to look to really have wow factor, and he's going to want to get Evis Kavaliauskas out of there in a more dominant fashion, in a more spectacular fashion than we saw Bud Terrence Crawford get Mean Machine out of there. Listen, Mean Machine probably gave Bud Terrence Crawford the toughest fight that Bud Crawford has had since he got to 147 pounds. Look, Mean Machine, Evis Kavaliauskas, he floored Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is my favorite boxer in the world today, pound for pound. Probably my favorite boxer in the world today is Terrence Crawford. I would say most definitely. But I'm not going to shill for him. The referee ruled that a slip in the Evis Kavaliauskas fight with Bud Terrence Crawford. Nope. Mean Machine knocked down Terrence Crawford. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he did so with timing, with his hooks. Truly, Evis Kavaliauskas is not a fighter to take lightly. And at 147 pounds, in Bud's entire career, in Terrence Crawford's entire career, at his entire campaign at 147 pounds, Evis Kavaliauskas gave Terrence Crawford the toughest fight that he had. No question about it. Tougher than Jeff Horn, tougher than Amir Khan, and tougher than Kell Brook. Evis Kavaliauskas is that guy. And all three of those other guys that I mentioned, former world champions. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, and Jeff Horn. All former world champions. And Evis Kavaliauskas today is better than all three of those guys. And let me tell you something. All three of those guys fought Terrence Crawford. Nobody gave Terrence Crawford the type of fight that Evis Kavaliauskas did. Nobody. Evis Kavaliauskas floored him. Knocked down Terrence Crawford. Having said that, Vergil Ortiz is going to look to impress. He's going to look to dominate. And he's going to knock out Mean Machine in the 7th round. That's right. Round number 7. Put your money down. Evis Kavaliauskas will be stopped. Vergil Ortiz will be the winner. And he will be 18-0 with 18 knockouts after tomorrow night's main event of the GoldenBoy card on DAZN, beginning at 8 p.m. here in the United States. Now, we will finish the weekend picks. We will finalize this video with the PBC. The pretty basic crap, the PBC card coming to us at 10 p.m. here in the United States of America, courtesy of Showtime. That's right, Showtime! Showtime! And in the main event of that card, we have the Cuban assassin, Guillermo Rigondeaux, Rigo. He will be challenging John Riel Casimero for his WBO Bantamweight Championship of the World. Now, Guillermo Rigondeaux currently is a champion in his own right. He's the WBA regular champion at 118 pounds. Now, I want to talk about this for a minute. The WBA regular championship, just to clarify, as I've done in the past, is a title that cannot be unified with that there of another sanctioning body. The only type of quote-unquote unification that can take place with the WBA regular title is with that of the WBA Super Champion. Example given, a few years ago, Manny Pacquiao in 2019 was the WBA regular champion at 147 pounds. He won that distinction by beating Adrian Broner, I believe. And he carried that into a unification as PBC pitched it against the WBA Super Champion at that time, who had been away from the ring for 2 years, dealing with injuries, going on vacation, whatever Keith Thurman was doing. And Keith Thurman at that time was the WBA Super Champion. So that's the only scenario where you can have, a unification with the WBA regular title. Basically, the WBA regular title, that's like calling you the #1 contender for the WBA championship. It basically means that you're mandated or should be mandated or supposed to be mandated a title shot. But we all know the WBA. The WBA, what are they going to do? They're going to WBA. That's all they ever do. And let me tell you something. They're going to strip Guillermo Rigondeaux. They're going to strip Rigo of the WBA regular title. As soon as that fight begins tomorrow for the WBO title with Vergil Casimero. And this will be the third time that the WBA has stripped Guillermo Rigondeaux of a championship that he won in the ring. And let me tell you something. In the past, it wasn't the WBA regular title. They stripped Rigo in the past of a super championship. From what I understand. And you know why they stripped him in the past? So another boxer could be awarded this title and be allowed to fight in a unification. So the WBA could pick up some extra sanctioning fees. Apparently, Guillermo Rigo has never been a big draw or big enough draw for the WBA to give him respect. And Guillermo Rigondeaux, he's 40 plus. I say 40 plus because he's from Cuba. And we don't know exactly when he's born. And that's not an insult. The same thing was true of El Duque, Orlando Hernandez in Major League Baseball. The same thing was true of Livan Hernandez, his half-brother, who was also a very successful Major League Baseball pitcher. I believe they both, had a lot of success, and I believe Livan Hernandez is a World Series champion. So both of those guys came from Cuba, but both of them, their age was always in question. Many other baseball players as well from Cuba, their birth certificate is questionable. Guillermo Rigondeaux, not only is he from Cuba, not only is he 40 plus, when he smiles, his face has got more lines than a piece of loose leaf. Let's be honest. The gentleman looks old. He looks old. And in the rings, as his last few performances, he looks old. Now, Guillermo Rigondeaux is nothing to sneeze at. He's 21 wins, 1 loss, and 1 no contest. And his 1 loss was at the hands of Lomachenko when he jumped up, Vasily Lomachenko, former pound-for-pound #1 Vasily Lomachenko. When Lomachenko was #1, Guillermo Rigondeaux jumped up 2 weight classes to get that fight, to go for greatness, to go for glory, to go for legacy. He dared to be great. Came up short. That's his only loss. 22-1-1. His 1 loss was when he was stopped on his stool. He quit on his stool in the corner against Loma. He was being dominated by a much bigger and much, better fighter, for lack of better terminology. A bigger and a better fighter. Better, ring IQ. Even though Guillermo Rigondeaux was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, so was Vasily Lomachenko. Bigger, better, and just that much more skilled overall. And Lomachenko beat that guy. Guillermo Rigondeaux quit on the stool. But Guillermo Rigondeaux has 13 knockout wins. He's a puncher. He can hit. Now, Vergil Casimero from the Philippines. 4 aces is the nickname he goes by. 4 aces, Vergil Casimero. He's 30-4, 21 knockouts. He has 1 loss by knockout, but that was a decade ago, and that was when he was challenging for the IBF flyweight title. All those years ago, 2011. He hasn't been knocked out in 10 years. The guy can take a punch. He can take a shot. And he's younger than Guillermo. And truth be told, this is the only fight that I was really, truly torn about. Really torn about. And this is the only fight that I've not selected before I started shooting this video. And I'm going to give it to you live and in living color, as I speak it to you, what I actually truly feel about this fight. Truly, I don't feel Vergil Casimero, I don't feel he's that good. I really don't. I don't feel he's that good. I'm picking Guillermo Rigondeaux, and I'm picking him to win by decision. He's never been a sweetheart for the judges, but I don't think he's going to leave any doubt. I think his ring IQ is much higher than Vergil Casimero's, and I think this is Rigo's last stand. And I think he's going to get it done by decision. Ha ha, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. I love each and every one of you. Remember, I am your favorite boxing shaman. Until we meet again, my friends. Peace. Enjoy the boxing.